Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my dear student. I hope you are well during this pandemic. By the grace of the Almighty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, I am also fine by the grace of the Almighty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. I suggest you to stay at home and not wander or roam at outside, just to stay at home. And this is the one way that you can save yourself from infecting yourself. The infection in the total world are increasing day by day, and the serial of the deaths are enlarging day after day. Therefore, we should stay at home according to the health ministry suggestions or rules of health. Okay, let's go to our topic. If you could remember, for the last 3 or 4 days, we were talking about right form of verbs. You know, right form of verbs is very important. Just in writing speech, you have to make the verb. Verb is important. It is called the heart of a sentence. Without heart, a man cannot exist. Like this, without verb, a sentence cannot be existed or imagined. And therefore, to making verb right, I am trying my best to, or doing labor just for your benefit. From different perspective, I am trying just how to make you the verb correct. Let's go to see. We are working a board question. If you could remember, this is a board question, and in our last class we have done only 2 or 3 gaps. Today we will complete the gaps by applying the rules. And how you will go through, this is important point. I would like to suggest you, just according to my instruction, I believe you will do the work. Let's go. Tree fair begin in Kurigram stadium recently. The same thing happened now again. Just the first verb is in bracket. There is a gap in the first verb, therefore it is a confusing matter. Whether the passage begins in present tense or first tense cannot be very easy to understand. And if you want to understand the passage, which tense the passage begins, you have to now understand the meaning of the sentence. Trees fair begin in Kurigram stadium recently, and the word recently tells us that the verb must be in present perfect tense. If you could remember, a rule is given. The word adverb recently refers to present perfect tense. Therefore, the word recently, only this word tells us that I told you in our last class, that the word recently only helps us to understand the tense, and it is present perfect tense. Has begun. If you see, this is has begun. Tree fair has begun in Kurigram. Why has? Tree fair, singular subject. Therefore, the verb must be singular. Have, has, there is a confusion for you, have or has. You will solve this confusion by the subject. Tree fair is a singular subject, therefore it is has. Began, verb in past participle tense. In present perfect tense, you know, have, has, verb in past participle. Eat dash organized by local administration and the Department of Social Forestation. Look at this. It organized by is by the by local department, by refers to, tells us that it is in passive. The agent is given here, and therefore by the agent we can understand the sense is passive, or the organized must be in passive sense, maybe present tense, maybe past tense, we will see later one. But the by the local administration and the Department of Social Forestation tells us, this agent tells us, the verb organized must be in passive sense, and the action of the verb organize has completed in the past. We know it is organized in the past, but the result is in our hand, still the result has. Therefore, it is also present perfect tense in passive voice. Present perfect tense in passive voice. According to the present perfect tense, has been or have been. It, the subject it, therefore takes has been organized. I think you understand the point. Next, the fair dash inaugurated yesterday by the DC of Kurigram. Look at these two things, two clues are here. First clue, yesterday, tells us the verb must be in past tense. Second clue, by the DC of Kurigram, the agent is given here, therefore the verb must be in passive sense. Two clues you are given here. First clue, yesterday, tells us it is in past tense. Second clue tells us the agent, it tells us that the verb must be in passive sense. The affair where was inaugurated or were inaugurated. The affair singular, therefore it takes singular verb, was inaugurated. It was also addressed by the speakers, by other speakers. It was also addressed by others. Look at this, the sentence, there is no dash here, but it was also addressed, was addressed, it is passive, by other speaker. This isn't, agent is given here, therefore the verb must be passive, we know, and the verb is passive here. Who, the first part of the sentence and the second part of the sentence. Therefore, this sentence tells us the rules of sequence of tense. If the main clause of the sequence of tense, if you remember the second rule, the main clause is in past tense, the subordinate clause must be in past tense. Therefore, the subordinate clause must be in past tense. Who emphasize, the action emphasize is done by the speakers. Speakers is antecedent here. Therefore, there is no passive sense. For this reason, it turned into a past tense. Emphasize, emphasized. Next, the chief guest in his speech dash put importance on planting trees. The chief guest in his speech put importance on planting trees so that, look at this, this is also a complex sentence, and complex sentence you will apply the sequence of tense. The guest, chief guest in his speech put importance on planting trees, the first part of the sequence of tense, the main clause and the subordinate clause, both in the verb are in bracket. Therefore, we have to depend on when was the action taken place. If you could remember sequentially, the passage telling the fair. The fair was organized yesterday by the DC of the Kurigram, and about this fair, in this fair, the chief guest delivered a speech. Therefore, the sense is past tense. Okay, and therefore the verb must be in past tense. No passive sense here. The guest put is done by the guest, the chief guest. Therefore, put in past tense put. So that, if you could remember, so that the rule of so that plus subject can or could, as it is past tense, the action is happened in the past. Therefore, it is could and verb in base form or bare infinitive. Put and could say. Be careful. It is a complex sentence, sequence of tense. We have applied here the rule of sequence of tense, but the action happened in the past, not in the present. It is about the fair that was organized by the DC. Therefore, the happenings is in past tense. The chief guest in his speech put, it is past tense put. Importance of planting trees, so that we know the rules of so that subject plus verb plus can or could, subject plus verb, and could save our environment from the effects of climate change and natural disasters. A huge procession, this is also about the fair organized by the DC. The happenings not in the present but in the past. Therefore, the verb must be in past tense. Huge procession, the parade verb is done by the huge procession, therefore, it is in active sense, paraded. The streets of the town after the inaugural. Various government and non-government organizations. This is also about the fair. This is also, and fair was organized yesterday, fair took place yesterday. Now look at this, this is also about the fair, and therefore the verb must be in past tense. Various government organizations and various government and non-government organization, dash bracket is set up, stalls displaying saplings of different varieties. The setup is done by the various government and non-government, therefore it is active sense, no passive sense. Therefore, set, past tense set up, stalls displaying saplings of different varieties. Cultural functions, dash, arrange every night. It is also about the fair. It is also about the fair. The happenings is about the fair, not any other situation. Therefore, the verb must be in past tense. The cultural functions plural. Therefore, arrange, look at this, the verb arrange is not done by the cultural functions, it is done by DC or the people concerning cultural function, involved in cultural function. Therefore, the sense is passive here, not active sense. The cultural functions, the verb arrange is not done by the cultural functions. Therefore, it is passive sense, past in passive sense. Look at this, was arranged every night to inspire people. Every night inspire people to plant trees. Look at this. This is the subject predicate of the sentence. This is also the predicate of the sentence, and the predicate part, look at this. This is a verb. What is the purpose of the functions? The functions of the purpose was inspire people to plant trees. Therefore, the verb, the sense refers the purpose. and we know purpose is expressed by using infinitive for plus noun in order plus infinitive. Therefore, to inspire infinitive, we use here infinitive to express purpose. And now, my dear student, what is important for you, these 10 gaps I have done not emotionally, not any other way, but I have done it applying all the rules. Be careful, applying the rules. I have done it applying the rules. Each and every gap I have done just applying the rules. Therefore, I suggest you, I also advise you, you will do it not applying your emotion or passion, but you will do it applying the rules, the suggestions, the advice I have given you. Be careful. Never apply your passions or emotions, your feelings. No, মনে হইল এটা এই টেন্স করে দেব, এই টেন্স করে দিলাম। No, this is not important. This is not important. This is a very faulty thing. Therefore, wrong conception. Therefore, you must apply all the rules and then you will fill up the gaps or correct the verb. Now, if you could remember the rules just at a glance, conditional sentence type 1, type 2, type 3 and zero conditional. Rule 2, stand mind, gerund. Rule 3, preposition plus gerund. Rule 4, list plus subject plus should plus bare infinitive. Rule 5, wish plus subject plus verb in past form. Rule 6, it is high time plus subject plus verb in past form. Rule 6, 7, as if, as though, subject plus verb in past form. Rule 8, no sooner. Rule 9, in order plus infinitive. Look at this. In order, we have applied in order plus infinitive, or another rule here given. Rule 10, subject plus used to plus infinitive, subject plus be become get plus used to plus gerund. Rule 11, it plus be plus period of time plus since plus past indefinite or past perfect. Rule 12, so that. Rule 13, relative pronoun. When the subject of the verb is relative pronoun, who is that, we should take care that the verb always agrees in number and person with the antecedents. Rule 14, the sequence of tense, A and B. Rule 15, verbs of sensation, 7 verbs, if you could remember. And after the 7 verbs, there is an object and the verb is in present participle or infinitive. Rule 16, 2 plus adjective or adverb plus 4 or slash 2 plus noun oblique pronoun plus reference next 17, reference to the past time is past times, had better plus bare infinitive. Rule 19, a singular subject always takes singular verb, a plural subject always take plural verb. Rule 20, singular subject is joined by singular noun or a plural noun by the with, together with, in addition to, as well as. The verb must be in singular. Okay. Rule 21, modals. Modals can be active, can be passive sense. Rule 22, plural noun comes between a singular subject. Therefore, this is important. There is a confusing here. You have to be very careful. The verb subject, the verb must be agrees with the singular subject, not the plural noun. Rule 23, two or more singular subject connected by an must take plural verb. Rule 24, two or more singular subject connected by or, nor, either or, neither nor, usually take a verb in the singular. When subject differing in number or person or both are connected by and the verb always be plural, but the sequence of the subject 231 231 বাংলায় বলে for second person, third person and first person. Rule 26, collective noun may be singular, may be plural, therefore you will be very careful here, very careful. Rule 27, some nouns are singular in form but plural meaning. Rule 28, just opposite 27. Rule 29, never, already, recently are usually used in present perfect tense. Rule 30, while refers to past continuous or verb in gerund. Rule 31, to express purpose, infinitive in order plus infinitive for plus noun oblique gerund. And the direction, if you remember the direction, this is important. Though the passage we have completed begins with the present tense, but we have to do past tense. Why? The fair was organized yesterday, not it was done in the present form. Therefore, past present mixture. Active and passive is very important. There are so many verbs we have used in this passage in passive sense. Therefore, it is very important to understand for you to complete the passage to make your verb correct. Now, if you could remember, to complete these passages, we do not need, there are how many rules, if you could remember, how many rules? Look at this. There are 32 rules. But to complete the passage, to make 10 verbs correctly used, you have not applied 32 rules. You have applied hardly 5 or 6 rules or 7 rules. But you have to get 32 rules in your memory alive. Otherwise, you cannot do it. I think you understand what I mean. Next, another passage. Look at this. This is another passage, bold passage I have taken. And we have to do this passage. Look at this. English dash bracket B, the most widely used international language. English dash use dash B, the most widely used international language. First verb is in bracket, therefore this is another difficulty. You have to understand it just by the meaning of the sentence. ধরো ইজ অথবা ওয়াজ যে কোনো একটা। এখন ইংলিশ has been used internationally, widely used internationally language. And now if you could remember, there is a clue for you. The most widely used, there is a verb here. Used is the verb. And the B refers the used, it says as that the verb used is not done by English, it is done by us, the people. Therefore, the verb must be in passive sense. And if you could remember, be was where, amizar was where. Amizar was where. Either past tense or present tense. And if you could remember, English is used all over the world. This is a very general statement, and therefore the sense is present sense, not in past sense. Therefore, it must be in present. Is. It dash learn to communicate with the foreigners for various purposes. Look at this. It learn to communicate with the foreigners. The verb, if you could remember, the subject does not do the verb. Learn is not done by it. It means English. It is not, learn is not done by English. It is done by us. Therefore, the sense is passive. And the sense also in present tense. Therefore, passive in present. Look at this. Is learned for various such as example, maintain cooperation, coexisting, and exchanging business information. This tells us exchanging business information, and these actions are done in using present participle. Therefore, such as this is the extension of the sentence, you have to make a phrase, and by present participle you can make the phrase maintaining cooperation and coexistence and exchanging information. There are also certain jobs which jobs, look at this, which is relative pronoun and the antecedent is jobs. Therefore, the verb must be in plural, not in singular. In present tense, require. Plural, the sense is present, therefore, require remains require. The jobs of pilot, look at this, the jobs of pilot, a postman, a telephone operator. Look at this, in so many nouns, that means a number of nouns, maybe singular or maybe plural, comes after the plural verb. The jobs, look at this, the jobs of, the jobs, the subject, this is plural, therefore verb must be in plural. The verb is be, therefore are a few of them. Besides, a student wish to go to higher studies must learn. Look at this, there is a clue here, must learn. The verb is given here, that means this is the extension of the sentence. You have to use extension of the sentence by phrase. Therefore, the verb must be phrase making wishing present participle. And on advanced education are mostly books, look at this, because the books, look another sentence, the books on advanced education are mostly right in English. Are mostly are, the verb are tells us the verb must be in continuous tense or passive sense. Look at this, the subject is the books does not do the verb right. The verb right is not done by the subject books, therefore it is passive sense. Therefore, written are written in English. So, the importance and demand of learning English in our country can, look at, there is a clue, can modal, in no way be, and can be, there is another important clue, can be in passive sense. Therefore, in passive sense, the verb must be in past participle, ignored. Rather, we should, look at this, there is a clue here, should is modal may be passive, may be active. Put, we should put or should be put. Now you sense, look at the sense, put is done by the subject we, therefore it is active sense, not passive sense, therefore put. High importance on, look at this, there is a clue here, on is preposition, after preposition the verb must be in gerund form. Learning. My dear student, I hope you understand the point. Therefore, you will make the verb correct by this way, not any other way, I suggest you. Thank you very much. You pray for me and I'll pray for you. And you know, in midterm, there are 2 passages here. Therefore, you have to complete the passages, answer to the question number 3, and then Roman letter 1 or A, Roman letter B or B, then you will complete in this way. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. শেষ, সে অলরেডি জানাই দিচ্ছে নে বাবা, ভিডিও তো পজই করেন না।